Jacksonville range. You've heard a lot of talk about him in the spring. He's a good football player. He's going to get better and better. It's the first game he's played in over a year, and he was prepared to play. John L. got shaken up on a kickoff return there. Jim Subers, good pass protection. Frank Holloway, number 37. You'll see a little slow-mo action. Great pass protection by our front line. Good, solid protection. Great effort. Good sudden change there. I see somebody coming back and blocking. That had to be James Jones, or it may have been Chris Faulkner. Brian Clark, 39-yard field goal. Good execution, good protection. And there's 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. I wouldn't question that decision ever, because 6.5 minutes. But unfortunately, we kick out of bounds. We have to take a 5-yard penalty. Now we kick off from the 35, and they fill it on the 10 and get a good run back. Our special kickoff team broke down here. They'll have the pride. They'll come back and get that straight, I assure you. We've got a lot of pride developing on our special teams, and it'll get better. Now they start the football at midfield. They go ahead and keep possession, and we can't get it back. And we help them with an offsides penalty, and right there is the second longest run of the evening. And there's Derek Burgess making a good play. I was pleased with the way our team defense performed, and again, we gained enough yardage. We had 18 first downs. We kept the football for 30 minutes during the football game. We prevented the long touchdown run and pass. And here's a good sudden change there. Scott Brantley making a super football player. That's why he's a preseason All-American right there. And I'll tell you, you'll see David Little making big plays time and time again. And Robin Fisher and Dozier Hinton, who missed a lot of work, came in there after David Little was injured. Did a great job. The Gators got a lot to be proud of. We want to thank all of you for coming to Houston that were there. All of you who were listening on the radio and watching today. We need to just let this old pride continue to grow for the Gators of 1979. We'll get better every day.
But that team really impressed me with effort out there tonight.
They gave good effort. I was very proud of the way the players performed. They held together the entire game, and I don't think they had any doubts that they could win the football game. And I think this will do a great deal for them after they see the things that we can do and how we can move the football and how we can stay together on defense. I thought Scott Brantley and David Little played well, and Tim Groves, as a quarterback, he completed 50% of his passes for 113 yards, I believe. He gained 56 yards rushing. John Whitaker, a defensive tackle last year, gained 66 yards, and maybe that doesn't sound impressive, but the University of Houston hadn't been known for giving up yardage. I thought Carl Prelo came in and did well when John L. Brown was a little banged up. And we had players like James Jones, a freshman, Joe Wickline, and Harold Galloway, and Wally Huff from Tampa played well. And I think defensively we'll find Juan Collins coming up with some big plays during the football game as we go back and study the films. I think the film of the University of Houston, University of Florida football game is going to be the most priceless possession in our library as coaches have, because we're going to learn a great deal and learn how we can do a better job in preparing our team for Georgia Tech.
Really a point that you can jump off from now, see by your mistakes, and go on to the future.
Well, absolutely. I tell you what, we don't have time to look behind, because this game is over as of 30 minutes ago, and we're looking toward Georgia Tech, and I have no misgivings at all about the way our players tried and the way they performed and the way they represented us, their families, each other, and the University of Florida. And I have no doubts that we'll improve, continue to improve, and it is a foundation, Paul, that we can build from. And I'm excited about getting back to work tomorrow and getting on that Georgia Tech film.
A lot of people excited. A lot of orange in those stands tonight, and I know that come next week it's going to be a packed house at Florida Field, and you're going to see it right here on Gator Highlights with Charlie Pell. Next week, Georgia Tech. Gator Highlights with Charlie Pell are brought to you by Peninsular Life. With Charlie Pell brings you the results from Florida Field in Gainesville, where the Florida Fighting Gators play Georgia Tech. Gator Highlights with Charlie Pell are brought to you by Dairy Farmers Incorporated, Peninsular Life Insurance, Chrysler Plymouth Association of Florida and South Georgia, Atlantic Banks, Pizza Hut, Scotty's, Production Credit, and Federal Land Banks Association of Florida, and Lights Meat.
It was a tie ball game. Georgia Tech tied us. And we would have liked to have come out ahead. We didn't. So we're going to take the good things we did, and we're going to build on them. We're going to take the things we did poor, and we're going to work like the dickens on them. And I think that's what the players want. I know it is.
Hello, everyone, from a rainy Florida field in Gainesville. I'm Paul Cameron. We'll be back to talk with head coach Charlie Pell and take a look at those highlights after this.
Defense takes commitment.
We go with Georgia Tech, a passing team, a pretty good one.
Well, it is, Paul, and we've got to stop Mike Kelly. We've got to find a way to contain Mike Kelly's passing game, and he has only been sacked 5 times in 13 ball games, and it's going to be a problem getting to him, and we've got to maintain control of football. We've got to have more consistency in our offense, and we've got to have a good kicking game today if we're going to have the opportunity to be successful against Georgia Tech.
Let's take a look at those first half highlights.
Coach, the rain lets up enough for the kickoff, and we kick off to Georgia Tech.
We had a great crowd in game, and we're grateful for the 60,000 plus that came out despite the threatening weather. When we kick off to Georgia Tech, they're down in the end zone. They start on the 20-yard line, and I'll tell you, it starts a great defensive night for the Gators on first possession. You see Robin Fisher from Satellite Beach High School come through and sack Mike Kelly, their great sophomore quarterback. Now, he was only sacked 2 times last year in 12 ball games, and the Gators sacked him 5 times, which has to be a credit to the defense, entire staff, and players. There's John L. Brown on a little swing pattern. John L's only a freshman. There's James Jones, another freshman, over active in the play. John L. got better and better as the night went on. There's David Little pressuring the quarterback. A great interception by Tim Golden. Here's from Fort Lauderdale, and he comes up with a big play. Great play by our defensive team, caused by pressure on the quarterback. He drops it over the head. Golden literally picks it off, and we're ahead 7-0, or 6-0 at this point. And I'll tell you what, that was the way that at this point I thought the momentum was going, and that might have been the boost the defense needed to come on. There's Wallace Mulvey on the sideline. He's kind of happy. Wallace from Cleveland, Ohio. You'll get a slow-mo here. There's David Little. The reason David Little is a good player on Saturday is he's a good player Monday through Thursday. He practices to be a good player, and it shows. That's Tim Golden. He was Defensive Player of the Week last week. He was a great week of preparation, and right there is where it all pays off. He does it Monday through Thursday, and it happens on Saturday. That's great effort. There's Brian Clark for the extra point. Now we're up 7-0, and we have a good start. We're kicking off. There's Donnie Van Wee, freshman from Gainesville High School, and we try to keep the football outside the hash mark on the kickoff. Unfortunately, this one hits in the middle of the field. They get a couple of key blocks, and we get a couple of our people knocked down on the special kickoff team. I want you to watch Yancey Sutton, number 50 from Tallahassee, Leon, giving that super individual effort to make the stop, and they get a 42-yard return. They get good field position, but I'll tell you, this doesn't shake the defense. And there we come out with a big play there. Who was that? That was Derek Burgess, wasn't it? Bill Fiorello, number 27 from Miami, Florida. I'm sorry, and he draws a 15. Georgia Tech draws a 15-yard penalty for hitting late. There come on a counter option. There's a pitch out to John L. Brown. I'll tell you, you'll just see him getting a little bit better and a little bit getting those little moves as a running back. He's only played running back now 4 weeks, and he got stronger as the night went on. There's Tim Grove throwing to Chris Collinsworth. Chris showing why he's a great one. Total concentration on the football, looking it in like a great one, regardless of the people coming on him from every angle. Get a slow-mo on this thing, and you'll see how a great receiver concentrates. Good throw by Tim Grove, right on the money. There's Chris looking it in, wrapping it up. Even though he's taking shots from both sides, he holds on for a mighty, mighty big down. Good protection on that left side there by Bill Bennick and Jim Subers. There's Georgia Tech on a sweep play. There's David Little on a blitz, linebacker blitz. Same play that he had on Mike Kelly causing the interception. He comes up with a big play. Dozier heading over to congratulate him. Here's a slow-mo on the thing, and you get to see what defensive big plays really mean. There's minus yardage. It forces Georgia Tech to punt, and we're in a position to get a good field position. There's pressure by the front. There's Robin Fisher again. Doc Lucky had to have played his best
He definitely played much better than he did last week. He's improving. He had some plays that were just simply outstanding. Here he comes again. Just pressure, keeps coming after the football, and forces Mike Kelly to take a dive. There's it. When one man gets the quarterback, it's usually because the other 10 people are doing their job. The coverage is complete. There's Tim Gross keeping on a mighty big play, and he gets up near midfield. Tim, there's Harold Galloway from McClenny, Florida. He's congratulating. That Harold Galloway, I tell you, he gives effort. I was really pleased, particularly in that second half and in that fourth quarter. I was pleased with the effort by all of our people in the fourth quarter, and that's when it really counts. That's when the character of the team shows. And we didn't execute properly, but I'll tell you the one thing: the effort was there, and that's all we're going to ask them for. We've got to find a way to help them be better prepared. Number 86, Vince Jones, freshman from Tampa, playing his first ball game, coming up with a mighty good play. Vince is only a freshman, but since we lost Steve Tanner and David Galloway in that defensive line, there's another slow-mo. There's number 72, Doc Lucky. He's in there. He's in the picture. Jim Calamaris, number 71, from Tampa playing high school, another player from Roland Acosta's team down there in Tampa. Boy, I tell you what, this wasn't a good 5 minutes. Scott Brantley was knocked out on a great defensive play, and the x-rays came back clear, and his mom and daddy were with him last night, and I'm so proud Scott's healthy and all right. I don't know how much practice he'll miss. That's not as important as him just being healthy and okay. That's a relief. There's Chris Collinsworth again on a very, very fine catch. Good execution by the part of our quarterback. And even though we didn't gain an inch in our passing game the second half, first half I thought we were throwing and catching fairly well. We may not have been doing it consistently enough, but this shows we can do the thing, and we're going to study those films, break down why we weren't able to make some yardage passing and why we weren't able to execute properly. There's another play by Dozier Hinton in the whole middle of the defense. David Little, Robin Fisher, the whole bunch. Jimmy Chris, number 59 from Jacksonville, came in there and played practically all the time after Scott got hurt and did a great job. Jimmy's a senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Just a fine young man, a great football player for effort and intensity and leadership. The things that it takes to be a good football team, he is an example. Here we are, Yancey Sutton sacking Mr. Kelly again, and I tell you, it was a thrill to see our defensive front play last night. Dadgummit, they got after Mr. Kelly, they sacked him 5 times, held him to less than 100 yards. That was 78 yards rushing, really, and only 97 yards passing. Great night defensively for it. Great start for a Gator defense.
And that is the halftime score. Florida 7, Georgia Tech nothing.
Well, this defense has played superb football, and of course Tim Golding scoring on that interception sure makes a difference for us, and our kicking game has been productive. We've been able to, Bill Conover's kicking the ball extremely well, and we've had good field position. We just haven't done much with it. We're not executing properly offensively, and we've got to do better the second half.
Gators leading Georgia Tech 7-0. Football is very important to the University of Florida, and so is the academic life of players and all students. Each week we'll look at a player and his life on the University of Florida campus. In addition, we'll feature a great Gator supporter. This week, defensive end Tim Golden and former Gator great Charlie LaPrade.
It was sparkling defensive plays like this one by end Tim Golden that held Houston's powerful offense 100 yards below its average and to only 14 points. A junior letterman from Fort Lauderdale, Tim was named co-defensive player of the week against Houston. He's majoring in advertising in the university's College of Journalism, and he sets high value on earning his degree.
Coaches stress that, parents have stressed that, especially my father, he really wants me to get a degree. That's number one, That's why I'm here, and football is my way of getting that.
As a junior, Tim will be among the students fortunate enough to take their classes in journalism's new building in some of the most modern labs in the country. Florida's College of Journalism is one of the largest in the U.S., and its students have won National Hearst Writing Awards 8 out of 19 years.
Well, I talked to a few of my friends that went to journalism college and in advertising. They were very positive about it, and it seemed like, from what they told me, it's pretty interesting.
Coming into this year, Florida's defense was its most veteran group. Tim is a key part of that unit and believes there's a new sense of comradeship on the team.
You can feel it in the locker room before practice, after practice, in the dining hall, just all around, especially on the defense. People really care, for one another. So like when David Galloway got hurt the other night, a few tears shed, when we saw him, in pain. We hate to see, one of our teammates in pain.
Tim Golden, outstanding athlete and University of Florida student. Now, let's look at a player from a few years ago.
Have football to play with the Gators on top. What'd you tell your kids in the locker room?
Well, Paul, actually, the defense, we didn't have to say much of the defense because the defense did a great job the first half. And, of course, we want them to continue and keep pressure on Mike Kelly. And they got to him and did a great job. Offensively, we want more consistency. We want to attack more. We want to be on the attack. We want to make things happen with our offense, keep it together, and get some points on the board, and maintain a solid kicking game. And I'm anxious to get into this next 30 minutes of football.
Coach, we kick off the second half. It goes to a young man who's a freshman.
Daryl Williams from Jacksonville, Florida, gains 17 yards on the kickoff return. That's the first play he's had as a Gator, and we're mighty proud to see him in action. And he's going to pick up more and more as he gains confidence in that knee and his health. Now, here's a big play of the ball game, in my opinion. The outside man failed it, broke down a little bit on protection. There was a little bit of eye on the snap, and the whole kicking operation took 2.2 seconds. They get their finger on it, and they can pick it up on the 8-yard line, or actually the 4-yard line. And here's Georgia Tech on the only score they had all day and had to go 4 yards. Now, I tell you what, that is as cheap a touchdown as there is in football coming from a block kick. There's no excuse for it. There's no reasoning for it. And we'll have to make sure our preparation is in a sense. And here's a young man that doesn't like it either. And I'll tell you, that Chris Collinsworth, he is mad and ready to go. That rascal, I tell you what, anybody that can reach down there and make the clutch play, he played like a great football player in every phase of the game.